Hey, y'all.
Hello, everybody.
Sorry for the weeping and gnashing of teeth in the background. It's raining, and our dog does not like the water, and my wife is drying him off.
Say hi, Charles.
Hello.
You can see the boy in the background if you look carefully.
Just a little bit.
He's very sad.
Oh goodness, he's upset. Anyway, how about that episode? Oh goodness.
We told y'all that the ride didn't stop from episode 1.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, look at him. He's swaddled like a little baby.
Very damp little boy.
Oh, it's raining. Would he hate that?
He's so sad.
Be upset.
All right,
Yes.
so talking points for this week.
Yes.
Here in the next couple weeks, our merch store is going to be dropping. Bear with us; it is a work in progress. We are still trying to figure out how it works.
Yeah.
We're going to be starting with just some logo stuff. Like we have some shirts designed, like some water bottles. You will see us sporting merch in future Q&As to give you guys like a preview of some of it. We'll be wearing some of our shirts. You guys will see me with our World's Okayest Archduke mug at some point. World's Okayest Grand Duke mug at some point. And at some point, once we figure out how to make discount codes work, again, we're still learning. Our $5 tier patrons are going to be getting a discount code.
Yes.
So keep your eyes peeled for that. And that was pretty much the only announcement we had this week. We don't really have a lot going on.
Yeah, that's the big announcement this week. Woo.
Okay.
So
let's get into the playlist. We open with Jenny by the Mountain Goats.
Yeah, that was purely Fee Captain in the first scene.
Hi diddly dee, goddamn, the pirate's life for me.
Yeah. Jenny by the Mountain Goats is a song about running away with your girlfriend on her motorcycle while the cops are chasing you. So the last verse is, and you pointed your headlamp toward the horizon. We were the one thing in the galaxy God didn't have his eyes on. 900 cc's of raw whining power, no outstanding warrants for my arrest. Hi diddle dee dee, goddamn, the pirate's life for me. So
you going out, babe?
Huh?
Are you going out?
No, I'm going to.
Okay.
I'm just gathering my things
So true.
and trying to be quiet about it.
Sorry.
Wait, I'll come get you in just
Anyway.
a second. I can go
Next song was Forgiveness by Paramore.
That was Kalesa.
Oof.
Because your voice is a gun, every word is a bullet hole, shot a hole in the sun. If I never look up, maybe I'll never notice. And you want forgiveness, but I just can't do it yet. Yeah, it's that whole thing was very much related to Leo and Kalesa's wounded relationship and how fucked all of that is.
Yeah. It's rough.
Yeah. Don't you go and get it twisted. Forgiving is not forgetting. No, it's not forgetting. No, I'll never forget it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Kalesa, my beloved.
Kalesa's going through
she's
it.
going through it. It's been a bad year and change for Kalesa. She's doing her best.
2 out of her 3 best friends are dead. The other one doesn't trust her.
Yeah.
She's having a rough time.
It's rough. Things are rough. Things are rough in Kalesa land. We love her so much.
Landslide, the Chicks cover.
Yeah.
That was a Fen song.
Yeah, it was a Fen song. We decided to go with the Chicks cover instead of the Fleetwood Mac original because there's a lot more harmonizing on the Chicks cover, which felt more musically and thematically appropriate for this being the song for the Fee and Fen conversation. Know what I mean? Just the chorus, obviously. Well, I've been afraid of changing because I built my life around you, but time makes you bolder. Children get older. I'm getting older too.
Yikes.
I'm glad that they've gotten to this point. I'm glad that things are all right with them.
And then You Get My Love by Pink. This was for Sabine,
Yeah.
for that conversation she and Fee had while they were getting ready for the gala.
Sabine fighting Seth wrongs.
Yeah, mostly just the chorus of the You Get My Love, baby, you get my love. If there's only one thing about me that you can trust, you get my love, baby, you get my love. Don't let my mistakes take that away from us. That very much tied into the line of I don't want being with you to be just one more thing I have to dance around. Yeah, that was why I picked that one. Woody, are you okay, bro?
Are you good?
I get that you're upset
Mr.
that you're
Man?
damp.
Oh,
He's like apoplectic right now.
it's raining.
He's he's so damp. Look at him, little wet boy.
He looks like a drowned rat.
Okay.
Anyway, next song was No Plan by Hosier.
This was just for horny reasons. Listen, you can't give me a scene of Zed lacing up Leo's fucking robes and pulling him in closer by the laces and expect me to not put a damn Hosier song on the playlist. You can't do that to me.
I was very proud of myself. Oh goodness. Just a lot. There's just some stuff happened.
Yeah.
Just my heart is thrilled by the still of your hand. It's how I know now that you understand. There's no plan. There's no race to be run. The harder the rain, honey, the sweeter the sun.
Leo.exe has stopped functioning.
Also, I'll be your man if you got love to get done.
Oh God.
Oh, Leo Zed.
Oh. How slow can we make this slow burn is the question we've been asking ourselves for the entirety of this show.
God. Oh, at least they are at a place where they're actively together now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the slow burn is over.
Almost.
Yeah. The slow burn is effective.
Yeah, the slow burn is effectively over.
Yeah.
Now we just have the two of them circling each other like a couple alley cats.
But yeah, that's why No Plan was. Oh, and then for the ending, we had Echoes of You by Mariana Trench.
Oofta. That was about Soren. How did we feel about Soren, you guys?
Thank you, Chelsea,
I like
for your
that.
input.
I like that my wife has not even heard the episode in its entirety. It is still laughing evilly.
I know all the
She does know all the
She
secrets.
does know all the secrets.
Goodbye, friend.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Chelsea.
God.
Uh-oh. It's not pulling up
Try again.
the lyrics page. Oh, wait. There it goes.
There it goes. Yeah, we were torn between a couple songs off of Phantoms for this last scene, and we ended up going with Echoes of You.
Yeah, if you want Leo Soren feels, just listen to the album Phantoms by Mariana Trench. It's a concept album about a guy slowly being driven mad by the ghost of his dead lover. So
Yeah, we've used a couple of the songs for Leonora reasons.
yeah, we did Ellen. Well, one of the songs is the opening track is called Eleonora.
Yes,
because
yeah.
it's based off the short story Eleonora by Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
Is what the concept album is based off of. But yeah, we did Eleonora and The Killing Kind for the Leonora songs. But
The Killing Kind is just generally a Leo song.
yeah. But stirs of whispers trail and linger. You still haunt the corner of my eye. These remnant faces, fleeting traces of you haunt the corner of my eye. Oh, echoes of you, repeating from the beating of your telltale heart. Ooh. I tried to make it vanish. I just want to make it vanish, but the notes of an old mistake still ring louder every day. From a little to a manic, a cacophony of frantic, a relentless refrain is the only thing that remains. Yeah, that was the last thing that Leo needed in that moment.
Ooh.
I can't stop myself from falling now. Who said don't look down? Can't stop myself from falling now. Who said you said don't look down? I thrust my fist into the post. I still insist. I see the ghosts. I can't stop myself from falling now. Don't look down.
Oof.
Yeah, it Echoes of You is a hell of a song.
Yeah. Get ready for a significant amount of phantoms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, the chat has
Sorry.
exploded since we started on this.
We switched tabs so we could go through the through the playlist, and the chat exploded. Hi, hello everyone.
In response to how do y'all feel about Soren? Horrible, Barry. How do you feel?
Yeah, how do you feel? How do you feel, bud? How you doing?
I'm not great.
I am studying you.
I'm
I
not-
am putting you
I'm
in
not-
the petri
I'm
dish.
not feeling good.
Somebody said, "Oh wait, it's the last Q&A of the year." Yeah.
It is.
Somebody else said, "Did not think we would be having Leo Soren in December Q&As."
We find your lack of faith disturbing.
God. Anyway. Okay, let's get into the questions, everyone.
Remember when everybody thought that Soren was dead and gone after episode 11 and never coming back? You fools.
Cowards.
All right, so into our questions. We have
Yes.
5, and then explain yourselves. Well, we have a question about it, so
Yeah.
we will.
We
We
will.
will here in a minute.
Should we do that one first?
No, let's go in
Oh.
chronological order.
Buddy.
Please give us a crash course on the captain's criminal record and what jails he's been to.
I think we mentioned we mentioned in Pearlport arc the various crimes that the captain was wanted for in Pearlport.
Yeah, but those were the ones that they didn't get him on.
Yes,
They couldn't arrest him
yes.
for it.
Yeah. I mean, fraud, extortion, grand theft marine, various pirate activities.
Pirate fuckery.
Yeah.
Is that in the legal textbooks anywhere?
Yeah. Commandeering of a vessel at least once.
Petty theft.
Petty
Yeah.
theft.
He did say public intoxication.
Public intoxication, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's been to most of the major jails in the Zephyrites. And I think he's taken the rap for a couple of Sabine's arson charges. Because Sabine commits a lot of arson. I don't know if you've noticed that about Sabine.
But she is a noted arsonist.
And I love that about her.
Something
Trans women can and should do arson.
something VFD joke.
Yeah. It's that one text list. Trans women can, should, and will do arson. God. After that, we got, what was the motivation for Moreland revoking Nora's title? Is that going to have consequences down the line? Honestly, to be honest, I think he just did it to punish her.
Well, I think there was a little more calculation into it because cutting her off from her royal stipend cuts her off from financially supporting Fee and Leo in the way that she would have been able to if her title hadn't been revoked.
Yeah.
So there was an element of that too about he now knows that Leo and Fee are safe under that roof and that like she is not going to fucking let anything happen to them while they are staying with her. Yeah. So I think it's kind of part of a long game of trying to smoke them out, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Like that was part of it. Like the majority of it was to be petty. Like don't get it twisted. We know who Moreland Valsine is as a person. The majority of that decision was unadulterated pettiness.
Yeah. As for like visible consequences that it's going to have down the line, I don't know how much. I mean, Nora is stressed about it because that means that their household income is vastly reduced because they're just working on Aaron's salary as an architect.
But he makes good money and the house is paid for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, the purse strings are gonna get a little tighter around the house, but they're not in any imminent danger of like losing their home or anything bad happening to
it's
them.
just kind of an undercurrent of like this is something that Nora is stressed about. And Nora's like clearance has been revoked. Like she's not clear to just walk into embassy buildings and stuff like that.
Because she's technically a civilian now.
Yeah.
And she's lost a lot of, I think that they had like security through the embassy too, which was why she was so like adamant about having Adra keep up the security system after that happened. But yeah, so all of her royal perks essentially have been revoked. So she's less helpful than she used to be, but
she could have been,
and she could have been very helpful, but
but that would have vastly reduced some of the stuff we had to do this season. Oh goodness.
Nora and her husband stressing under capitalism keeps me up at night.
Us too.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Like they're mostly all right, but
Yeah, and if they had to, like Lark and Adra could get jobs. Like
Yeah.
Adra's an extremely talented artificer. Adra could probably work for the city if she wanted to. Yeah.
It's just something that Nora is going to be a little stressed about, and it's something that's keeping them from boosting Leo and Fee's plot line this season, basically.
Yeah, because with the financial backing they could have had from
Yeah.
Nora, they could have gotten access to a lot of hoity-toity political things a
Mhm.
lot faster and a lot easier.
Yeah, like
But they've still got Boreas. Boreas still has his title.
yeah, and they have the invitation to the gala, which is pretty much what's keeping them going there, which is kind of like it's their biggest shot, is kind of what we've established.
Mhm.
So and then we got oh no. Can we hear more about Leo and Kalesa and Soren and Elena's dynamic when they were younger?
Yeah,
Oof.
so this episode was why we were glad that we published The Great
Prank War.
Australian Prank War right before the season came out to kind of remind everybody who Elena Tormare was.
Yeah.
Because Kalesa has and had a lot of feelings about her, and we
Mhm.
haven't really talked about her that much since
Yeah.
like the second episode of season 2.
Mhm.
I feel like Leo laid it out pretty much the way it was. I don't think he had too much bias into what their relationship
Yeah.
dynamic was, and neither did Kalesa,
Yeah,
really.
I think in that conversation, Leo was kind of putting Soren on more of a pedestal than he maybe should have been, but like that's understandable.
That makes
The man is
sense.
dead.
Yeah.
The man is dead. It's understandable. But like I think we laid it out pretty well in Prank War of like Leo and Elena were very close. Elena was kind of a shit stirrer, but very protective of the whole group. I think we mentioned
Leo and Kalesa were a hot mess.
Leo and Kalesa were a hot mess, and Elena and Soren were looking on like petri dish.
Okay, which one of us is cleaning this up? Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
We literally in Prank War saw Elena and Soren take turns solving problems.
Yeah. Yeah, and we also in Prank War, I think we discussed Elena and Kalesa's relationship, at least for a bit.
Which, we don't want to make it out like Kalesa is this like tragic trope of like having a dead love of her life. Like they dated for like a year when they were like 15.
Yeah, it's not like it's something that affects Kalesa.
They weren't dating when
because-
Elena died.
Yeah, they weren't
Yeah.
dating when Elena died. But like the fact that they were close friends and Elena died affects Kalesa, I think, more than the fact that they dated for like a year when they were 16. But that is a factor, and it's something to consider when we're talking about her. I think their dynamic when they were teens, like when they were like really young, is very much that kind of pairing off for very specific things. Like because Leo and Soren were dating at the same time that Kalesa and Elena were, and that was always a factor in there.
Yeah, and Leo and Soren were literally that couple that like started dating when they were 15 and just never stopped. Like, yeah.
Besties. Oof.
Or Leo would have been 15 and Soren would have been 16, the equivalent, the elf equivalent of. Yeah, because Soren was about 5 years older than Leo.
Yeah.
So
which elf equivalent is like 1 year.
Well, not quite. He wasn't quite because
Yeah.
of Omegroth things. We established
Yes.
in the first episode of Omegroth that Soren is a newborn.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But yeah, they were all very close, is what we've established mostly about the dynamic. Like it was very much they all kind of grew up together, but like Fee and Fen were always doing their own thing, and Elena's twin Elion was not really close to anybody in the group so much
because she was the golden child.
Yeah, because she was the golden child, and also she had a more active social life than the rest of them. Like
she had friends.
Yeah,
like,
she had other friends.
Yeah.
She met people that didn't go to the same homeschool group as she did. But like it was very much, I think, Leo and Soren and Kalesa and Elena against the world for a lot of their childhood, which is why it's kind of everything that happened with like the fallout between Kalesa and Leo and Kalesa and Soren and Elena dying. Like I think that I think that's kind of why it hit so hard, because like Celeste said, that was all she had. Like, she didn't really have any friends outside of their group because they were all shut-ins. Because they were all recluses that went to homeschool.
Well, and they were all very like
yeah.
protected because they were members of
exactly.
such high social standing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. And like it is hard to make friends when you have like a security detail.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. And it's hard to get away from your security detail for long periods.
So
of time.
you have to become friends with your security detail,
yeah.
which is why Leo and Elena were friends.
On this episode of Kalesa hasn't had a break in decades.
She really hasn't.
She was having a good time till she came back in season 1.
Yeah. She had a great like couple years. Well, no, because
Yeah.
her mom got sick.
Well, yeah, but she
Yeah.
was partying. Anyway. But yeah, their dynamic, the four of them were very close, is kind of the thing that we wanted to establish.
And now
mostly.
it's just Kalesa and Leo.
Yeah.
And I think both of them are having this mutual struggle of being the last remnants of this thing that meant so much to them for so much of their lives, but the relationship between them now is so scarred and has so much resentment,
and also like it was a friend group that was formed when they were all little kids, and they have all had to grow and change, and Leo and Kalesa no longer fit into that dynamic that they got attached to.
No, they're different people
Yeah.
than they were when they
Yeah.
were friends as kids. Like
Yeah.
Leo has changed a lot. Kalesa has changed a lot, just in the past few years.
Yeah.
And, I feel like that's something that a lot of people can relate to when you come back together with somebody that was a very good friend in your childhood and even, up into your teens.
Yeah.
And you meet that person years later and you realize like, oh my God, we are both fundamentally different people now. And this thing and this friendship that meant so much to me doesn't really exist in the way it did and can't anymore.
Yeah.
And it's that question of, does that friendship and what it meant to me mean enough to try to forge something new out of it? Or is it something that needs to be let go and, you're thankful for it and you let it go?
Yeah.
And Leo and Kalesa are kind of in the middle of debating that, amongst themselves right now. Which is why Kalesa, Leo kind of put that olive branch out and was like, I want us to have what we used to have. Like, can you do that? And she said, I don't know, because she's still parsing it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a lot of feelings about Leo and Kalesa's dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah, and that all is compounded by the circumstances that they're in. But anyway, next question. How does Fee feel about Fen 2.0 and how things ended up with him?
New Fen.
I mean, here's the thing. Fee loves Fen a lot. Fee has never returned Fen's romantic feelings in the way that he might have wanted. Although I think it's a complicated subject for her. But like, I think when they were younger, New Fen is hotter. So yeah, New Fen is hotter. Someone in the chat pointed that out, and I would be remiss to not repeat it. But like, I think it's very much. I'm trying to figure this out. I think it's very much Fee being very happy for how her friend has grown, but like realizing that what they were to each other is not something she can get back is very bittersweet. And I think there is a little bit of relief in it, because I think Fee always felt like the fact that Fen had those romantic feelings for her, that she was never going to be able to reciprocate in the way that he wanted. Because like, when we get down to it, Fen is a serial monogamist and Fee is not into that. And she knew that going into the relationship that they did have, when they got older and it got less strictly platonic. But like, I think when it boils down to it, it was very much this feeling of relief that was not something that was holding Fen back from being happy, if that makes sense. Yeah. Somebody in the chat said, I really liked the whole thing with Fen saying she was still his person, even if it wasn't a reciprocated romantic relationship. Meant a lot as an arrow ace. Yeah, and that's really important for us to have like that, even though like neither Fee nor Fen is on the aromantic spectrum, although other characters are. But the fact that we can recognize that romantic love is not the most important thing in a person's life is important.
Yeah, and that like what I meant, you know, from that whole monologue was that no matter what their relationship looks like, Fee is always going to be the most important person in Fen's life, and it like that is never going to change. And it didn't change when their kind of friends with benefits thing broke down. It didn't change when she was gone for a year. It hasn't changed now.
Yeah.
And I think Fen is kind of lucky to be in a place where he is now having his romantic needs met by somebody who isn't gonna freak out over that acknowledgement of like, hey, this is my person. Like,
and that means a lot. And I think it also means a lot to Fee that she can have that relationship while also having her romantic needs fulfilled. You know what I mean? Like, I think it is very important to establish that the two of them are very important to each other and that it was never going to work as a romantic relationship, but that is not
the be all end all.
That's not the be all end all, and that's not a indictment of either of their characters. You know what I mean?
No, because they're just different.
They're
different people that need different things. Yeah.
Sometimes you're just not compatible, and I think that's okay. But yeah, we were trying to parse out a lot of things in that scene.
I just love seeing Fen like confident and happy and how like he's feeling himself, and I'm proud of him.
Oh goodness.
You pick up a hair care routine, it's amazing what it'll do for you.
You pick up a hair care routine, you come out of the closet, whole new person. Same Fen.
Fen 2.0. We got a ton of bug fixes in this version.
Fen 2.0 patch notes is now pansexual. Hair is less greasy.
Clear skin.
Clear skin.
No
No
more
longer uses a 5-in-1.
Less panic attacks.
Oh, God.
Hot date mate.
Hot date mate. Capable of a complication-free platonic relationship with his bestie. Somebody in the chat said Fen 2.0 and Fen Mia are so good. Yeah.
Wait a couple more weeks.
Yeah. And our last question. Okay, now we're getting to it. Did Barry know that Soren was going to show up at the end? How did y'all integrate that with with Leo's Phantom Rogue abilities? I can't read today.
Well, we had the idea. I knew about the ghosts, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I had that idea because of things that we can't discuss that are like major spoilers for the campaign.
Oh, before we get into this, somebody in the chat said, do you think Mia helped with that, to be honest? Like, helped him discover himself as a person?
Wait until episode 5 for the answers on 5. That. The answer is yes, but...
the answer is yes. The answer is yes, and also, like, this is not a spoiler. Mia was kind of Fen's revelation of, oh, it's not just women. Because, like, I think we've discussed this before, of, like, Fen... at the time that Fee came out was like mid-crisis.
Like, oh, okay, she's a girl. I don't have to worry about this.
Okay, she's a girl. I like girls. Cool.
Yeah. We're putting that in the box. We're closing the box.
Shut it. The person I have the most feelings for right now is a girl. I am straight. Yes. Said Fen, like a liar. And then he met Mia and was like,
shit.
Right. Right.
And then Mia stabbed him and he went, oh no.
Oh no. Yeah. All the Bipan people, you know what we mean. You know when somebody stabs you. But anyway, okay, talking about the ghosts. Back on track.
Yeah. So I knew about the ghosts as a concept because It ties into something that's coming much, much later in season 3
that we can't discuss in detail.
Yeah, and I was talking to Al in one of our pitch meetings, and I was like, well, Leo has this thing on his subclass, and it says, echoes of those who have died clinged to you. How cool would it be if we did actual ghosts based on that thing that is coming way later in the season that we can't talk about?
Yeah, and we had already brought up the idea of there being some ghosts in season 3 because of the thing that we can't talk about. But like,
this gave it more structure.
Yeah, this gave it way more structure.
But what Al did was they made a list of because that feature allows Leo to select proficiencies that he does not have and get them basically until he decides he wants another one. Al made a list of ghosts that correspond with each proficiency that Leo does not have.
Yeah.
So I did not know that investigation proficiency corresponded with Soren. So I knew there were ghosts.
He knew there were ghosts, but Soren was a surprise.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. And also, you left proficiency up to me, so I was like,
Soren time, baby.
got it.
Yeah.
Got it. It's
Yeah.
Soren time now. Oh, goodness.
And next couple episodes are going to be fun because it's just Soren Shakrana floating around going, I think I will cause problems on purpose.
Yeah, it was I had planned from like the moment that Soren's death was finalized to have some ghost Soren in some capacity in season 3.
You thought he was gone after episode
11. Somebody said, oh, so he's not a one-time thing? No.
It's a beautiful day in Vogvoldur, and you are a horrible little ghost.
No, he will be back a couple times. Ghost Soren is an ongoing thing. He will be
Which
back.
is just great for Leo.
Yeah.
And his mental state.
Somebody in the chat said, y'all, he's gone. He's dead. Stop saying he'll come back. It won't happen. He's not coming back alive.
He's dead. I mean, he is dead.
Can
we bury Blue Jeans to you?
Yeah, we were saying that for everybody to like understand that nope, he's dead.
He is dead, like deceased, fully deceased.
Yeah, don't keep your hopes up for that, but like
not alive
we
anymore.
For him to come back as a ghost at some point in season 3. But yeah, Soren is going to stick around as a ghost for as long as Leo has investigation proficiency from his rogue thing.
And then something later that we can't talk about.
Yeah. And then the thing that happens later in the season that we can't talk about. But like, yeah, anytime that Leo decides that he wants investigation proficiency for the rest of the season, Soren is the ghost with investigation proficiency.
Yep, and there is a ghost for each proficiency. Let me pull up Leo's character sheet to see which ones he doesn't have.
Yeah. Hold on, my Rolodex. And by Rolodex, I mean a note on my phone.
We're not telling you what ghosts are associated with what, but...
Yeah. Having issues with Firefox. The thing about our Firefox browser is that it recognizes some of the pages that we visit and some of the D&D Beyond pages that we visit, but it's a crapshoot whether it's going to pull it up or not.
Okay, so
yes.
There are ghosts for acrobatics, animal handling, arcana, athletics, deception, which I have right now, and we're not saying who that is, intimidation, investigation, medicine, nature, performance, sleight of hand, and survival. And I do not know who all of them are. I know who the ones for investigation and deception are, because those are the two that I've used so far.
Yeah. Oh goodness. But yes. Somebody in the chat said, very concerning. There's enough dead people for all that. Yeah.
Leo has access to a very large pool of dead people for reasons we cannot discuss.
Yeah. We'll go into it later.
a very large pool of dead people.
But yeah, so I just have my little notes every day. I wake up and I do my gay little tasks. But I have notes of which ghosts are gonna pull up.
I'm very sorry. A dead pool, if you will.
Did you come out of the bedroom just to say that? I fucking hate your ass. I love you very much.
I love you too.
Chelsea derogatory. Somebody in the chat said, if y'all bring in Val, I will cry violently. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Somebody in the chat said, did Woody piss on the floor or help? No. Chelsea came out to say a bad pun. Chelsea came out of the bedroom just to say a bad pun. God. Oh, goodness. Somebody in the chat said, oh no, not Val. That'd be fucked up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be extremely fucked up and evil.
But anyway.
Open question time.
Open question time.
Yeah, but I was really pleased with your mechanic for the ghost. I think that's, it makes me very glad that I chose Phantom Rogue as my subclass, because that was not the plan for 2/3 of the campaign. Like from the beginning, for the first like 2 seasons, I was dead set on Mastermind as my subclass.
Yeah, but Phantom I think works a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and it plays better with Death Cleric, like flavor wise. So
somebody in the chat said, "Watch Adana show up. I'm gonna die." That'd be fucked up, wouldn't it? And somebody else in the chat, in all caps, said, "Al, I will pass away." Feeling very fucked up and evil. Anyway, oh goodness. But yeah, open question time. Yeah, I was proud of the ghosts. I was proud of the ghosties. Oof. Somebody asked, can Soren feel and then pain horse?
Feel what? Rage?
Emotion right now. Okay.
Yeah,
to an extent. We're gonna go into how the ghosts are doing later in the season. I have a lot of thoughts on the nature of ghosts and undeath that we're exploring for the rest of the season and in our second campaign.
Yeah, more in depth in the second campaign, but essentially, like what we're doing is that ghosts are very tied to the memory of the people that they leave behind, and so the scope of their ability and the scope of their humanity is very much tied to how many people remember them and in what way people remember them. So
I think like
Soren can feel because Soren is very fondly remembered by somebody that loved him very much,
by multiple people that loved him a lot. So yes, that's also why like Soren is, and we get into this. I don't know if we're gonna get into this as much this season, but like that's also why Soren is as present as he is as a ghost. Like if Leo had picked a different proficiency, or if I had picked a different proficiency for Leo rather, and gotten a ghost that was less fondly remembered
or less remembered, period,
because
Leo has access to a pool of people that have been dead for a long ass time.
If it had been one of those people, that ghost would have been less present and less visible. But like the evidence of how well and how fondly Soren is remembered is like the fact that he was almost tangible when he was trying to interact with Leo, stuff like that.
And things you'll see next week about like his tangibility and his ability to interact with the world around him and stuff like that.
But like, and the TLDR of that is that because he is so well remembered and fondly remembered, yes, he can to an extent feel his normal range of emotions, and to an extent he is the same as he was before he died. It's just kind of muted, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Soren, but like throw him at the bottom of a well.
Yeah. Soren, but like turn his volume down. Oh yeah. Somebody in the chat said, "Oh, to be defined by the love you left in the earth. I will cry, I will sob, I shake the bars to my cage."
Yeah, you'll see that with some of the other ghosts too.
Yeah, you'll see that for some of the other ghosts, and you will see that a lot next campaign.
Yeah, well, a lot of because there's a huge ghost arc in campaign 2, but the part of it in campaign 1,
Yes.
yeah, you will definitely see more of like, and there's like a horror element too, because we had the idea of like degraded ghosts, like ghosts that either don't have anybody really alive that remembers them or are not remembered fondly.
But yeah. Well, the ghosts are gonna be interesting. Oh, the ghosts are interesting. Oh goodness. But yeah, we'll see. We'll be seeing a lot more of the ghosts.
Yeah,
for the
we
rest of
have
the
we
season.
have the idea for some ghosts. Pac-Man, to give you the idea of who I'm talking about, who
Right, yeah.
have been dead for a long ass time and have degraded and have become kind of monstrous in that way, or like ghosts of rest in pieces, you old bat, who are not remembered fondly and have become monstrous because of that.
Somebody in the chat said, "Is Soren specifically as a ghost tied to Kimberly in any way?" Like, I can imagine they all are, but does
We can't
Kimberly
answer that.
know? We can't answer the first part of that question. Yes, Kimberly knows.
Yeah. Kimberly knows about it, but we can't answer that in detail.
That's some spoilers, baby. Somebody in the chat said, "God, I didn't even think about Moreland's mom as a ghost." Hang on, pull up the proficiencies you don't have again. Because she is in the list that I'm trying to remember where I assigned her.
Hold on.
Give you a scope of how good I am at taking notes. I put down all the names, but I didn't list them next to the proficiency. They're just in order of the proficiency block.
It was Arcana, wasn't it?
Yeah. I had her down for Arcana. That's it.
Yeah, because she was like a fuck off powerful sorceress.
Yes.
That's the only one you get.
That's the only one you get. You get to know her and you get to know Soren. Ooh, somebody in the chat said, "Are we seeing the gods soon, by the way? I missed my lightning wife."
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, we're seeing Kiva very soon.
Kimberly not so much, but yeah.
Kiva not so much. Somebody in the chat said, "Ooh, that's interesting, actually." What? Her being a powerful sorceress?
Yeah, like all the Valsides are.
Yeah.
For the most part. Like,
yeah, the thing is that they marry a lot of people that are magically powerful to strengthen the magical bloodline of the royal family.
yeah, and I feel like Adana was kind of an outlier because she was a wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Not only because she was, common, but like, yeah.
Yeah. I will say this: if Moreland had been the Grand Duke originally,
He
like
would
if he
not
had
have
been the
married
oldest,
Adana.
if he had been the oldest, he wouldn't have been given the option to marry Adana. First of all, honestly, he probably would have ended up with either Alasha or someone of a similar background and a similar power level.
Or the person that ended up married to Val.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Because they had kind of a like a Leo and Kalessa and Soren dynamic. Like Moreland had a very like tight knit group of friends among like his siblings and their like various social peers that was pretty comparable. And we meet Val's wife in Omegroth. She's fucking fantastic.
Lavender marriage is the ideal character dynamic. Somebody in the chat said, "Oh, he could have been set up with Alasha." Alasha is a very powerful sorceress.
And a Marchioness.
Yeah, and a Marchioness. Yeah.
So like
very
socially,
well
socially very well off.
Oh,
like old money.
Yeah. He very well could have been set up with Alasha. I think because we meet the woman that Val is Lavender married to in Omegroth. I think she would have been the first candidate, but I think if she had not been an option, which I don't know if she would have agreed to be set up with Moreland.
Because they like each other, but not that much.
Yeah, they like each other, but not that much. But yeah, it very likely either Alasha or another one of their peers that is of a similar standing to Alasha would have been probably arranged to marry him if he had been older.
I mean, fuck, like he could have ended up with because they're the same age. Oh fuck, Soren's mom. What's her name? Talia.
Yeah, Talia. Yep. Yeah, he could have ended up with Talia. Yeah. Yeah. And that would have been interesting. Somebody in the chat also said, I miss Kimrel. Heartbreaking emoji. Bone husband. We're going to see him soonish. We're going to be seeing Kiva sooner, but we're going to be seeing Kimrel soonish. Somebody in the chat said, geez. Yeah. Arranged marriages are fucked. But like, yeah.
Because he was
Yeah.
the, like not the eldest son of the family. Like he had options. And I mean, like he had to go toe to toe with his mom to marry Adana. And that was not fun.
Yeah.
And the old lady was a bitch to Adana for her entire life. Yeah.
There's a reason Leo doesn't have a lot of memories of his grandmother.
Leo has never met his grandmother. Yeah. She died had never having met either of her grandchildren.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat said, hey, how's Kalessa gonna feel about the Soren situation? Oh no.
Kalessa's not gonna know, dog. Do you think Leo's gonna walk up to his friends, to the people that are relying on him to be a leader right now, and go, hey, guess who's seeing ghosts now?
Yeah.
No.
Leo's not talking a lot about the ghost situation. It'll come out before the end of the season, and I'm sure Kalessa's reaction will not be great, but yeah, to the point where up to where we have recorded, Kalessa has not found out. I will say that. Oof.
Yeah, like what do you guys think? Leo goes right downstairs and like leans on the banister and goes, you guys are never gonna guess who I just saw.
Gonna believe it.
No, he is keeping that shit buttoned up.
Yeah. A trauma is steeping horribly.
You ain't a shittin'. You ain't a shittin'.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness.
All right, we got about 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Anything else?
Open questions. But...
Yeah, and you guys can, it doesn't have to be related to this episode. You guys can just put whatever the hell you want in there. We'll riff on it. But
yeah. Oh goodness. Oh, the Soren thing. Oh, the ghosts. Oh god. I will say also, we thought this episode and next episode were going to be one episode,
which is why it's a part 1 and part 2.
Yeah. The only part 1 and part 2, the only 2 part 1 and part 2s we've done intentionally were both in season 1. We keep having to split episodes, but
Family Portrait part 1 and part 2 were split intentionally.
That's true. I forgot those were part 1 part 2. Yeah. But yeah, this one we got to a specific point in the next episode that we thought was going to be the end of episode 2, and then we looked at it and it was it was over 2 hours long. So,
and we were like, okay, cool, we're splitting it.
Right. Okay. How do you come up with the voices for the characters? Said someone in chat. For me personally, it ends up being a lot based on their posture. Like,
you just went into Zed mode right
there.
Yes, I
did. Yeah, because that's my best example. Like, I didn't come up with specifically the voice for Zed. I came up with Zed's body language and the way that Zed carries himself. And the voice came from that because he talks like this.
Yeah, whereas mine, I try to shoot for, like, I get super technical with it just because I have a lot of academic knowledge based on, like, how the human vocal tract works and, like, how accents and vocal embouchure and everything like that work because I'm a classically trained singer. But, so I get a lot more technical with it, and I have a couple characters where the vocal posture informs their delivery a little bit more because, like, okay, so this is me talking normally in my normal voice. But when I go into my Leo voice, I just push it a little higher up in my nasal cavities, and I know where my resonance is. So I'm not really changing my vocal posture that much, but you could still tell that I'm talking in my Leo voice because I'm resonating differently. And it works the same way with Kalessa, because that's a lot more nasal and it's a lot more brighter and it's coming up into the cheekbones. And then I go fully into the head and now I have Verity, but notice how my vocal posture isn't really my like oral posture isn't really changing that much. Whereas if I do the Moreland voice, you see my entire posture change. And that is one thing that I have to just do the entire posture change to get the delivery on. Yeah.
And I think that's because I was the one that conceptualized the Moreland voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of something we've had like a friction with as we've tried to like.
Oh, Eleanor's been a pisser.
Oh,
Eleanor's been
Eleanor's
so hard.
But that's something we've had a lot of friction with as we try to play characters that the other person conceptualized the voice for. Like I have to like think to myself very hard when I do the Sabine voice because she's up here. And I have to
Sabine is
really
very much
think
about
my
resonance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because Sabine's right at the back of the throat and she has that very old Hollywood kind of posture.
But if you move it too far to the back of the throat or too far up into the nose, you get defiance.
Defiance.
Yeah, and
Speaking
we've had
somebody in the chat said, did they ever find Defiance's body? Just a curiosity. I don't know. It'd be interesting to hear about. No other reason.
They haven't been in the Zephyros for a long ass time. Yeah, no.
They don't know. If somebody else found Defiance's body,
They
then Leo
haven't
and
told
Fee haven't
anybody.
heard
Yeah.
it. But yeah. Oh, the voices.
Yeah, because I know Eleanor's been a real pisser. Eleanor's been a real pisser. Ravane has been a real pisser.
Yeah. Well, that's because that's because I had to change how I do Ravane's voice because he's not as anxious anymore.
Yeah,
because he's calmed down. Because when like season 1 Ravane posture was kind of like this.
Yeah.
Whereas season 3 Ravane is a lot more relaxed. So I still have to bring the shoulders up a little bit, but I'm trying to keep it looser when I do Ravane's voice, and then it just ends up sounding like me.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. Oh goodness.
Yeah,
Eleanor's
so
been a pisser.
Yeah, Eleanor has been really hard because if we push her too hard, she comes out sounding like Adra, which is wrong. Which like Adra, it's just all in the nose.
Adra's right up here.
Adra's like right up here.
Right up here. Whereas Eleanor's
more brassy. Yeah, like it's
Eleanor's
still
brassy. She's back towards the back of the throat.
Yeah,
also.
yeah, it's
Not
nasal,
quite
but it's
nasal
towards the
passages.
back of the throat. Yeah.
Yeah. And you gotta kind of do her posture, and you gotta kind of do this with her posture.
And she hits her S's super hard because we discussed that how that's kind of like a tie-in to like a little bit of a goblin accent that she has. Like
it's the teeth.
It's the teeth. Yeah. So we do a lot of voice work like on our different character voices, but now that we're in the position of everybody being back together where we have to switch people that we do, it's very hard, and we get a lot of characters like mixed up a lot of the times where like we'll push something too hard and we'll end up slipping into another character voice. Like Sabine slipping into Defiance has been a huge problem. Eleanor slipping into Adra has been a big problem.
If you couldn't tell, we're doing a smaller cast of characters for our second campaign for this reason.
Leo and Ereve swapping back and forth because Ereve has a lot of that kind of like not necessarily vocal posture, but that kind of like cheekbone resonance.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat said, have you ever considered doing detailed voice claims? Like everyone has their own headcanons, but I love the canon. We have a couple for
singing voices.
Yeah, for singing voices especially. Like my canon fee voice claim is Ezra Furman.
Yeah, and
my canon fee voice claim specifically is Ezra Furman on Suck the Blood from My Wound.
And then like mine for the captain is either Darina Harvey or Natty Dread. One or the other. It doesn't really matter which. And for Leo, it's either Ben Platt or David Michael Frank from Future Sunsets.
And we've referenced people's voices when we try to do the character voices. Like Adra is meant to just sound like Entrapta from She-Ra.
Yeah. We very much went full Entrapta for Adra. And then we talked. I don't know if we've ever talked about this on a Q&A, but our vocal kind of concept for Sabine and like the way she talks is very inspired by like old Hollywood and Audrey Hepburn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sabine, if you're looking up a video of
just go watch Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Go watch Breakfast at Tiffany's. She's meant to come off very Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah.
I love her so much. Oh, I love Sabine. But Verity's vocal concept was just Valley Girl.
Elle
Valley
Woods.
Girl that has Elle Woods, but with a lot of crystals. Elle Woods, but she's on Witch Talk.
Elle Woods, but she's on Witch Talk and like maybe cocaine.
Stop. Oh goodness. But And we do a lot of singing voice claims for characters that we know sing a lot. But like other than that, it's just kind of how we can make the voice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the rituals are intricate.
Bestie. Anyway, 5-minute call, by the way.
Yeah.
Any other questions? I don't know why I'm doing this.
I'm trying to think of who else we've said voice claims for before. Because I know we've done the Captain and Leo because they both sing a lot.
Yeah.
And Fee. Literally Sabine, just any Audrey Hepburn clip you can find.
Yeah. Did we have a voice that we were using as reference for Defiance or not? Moreland is welcome to the internet, the evil voice.
But not necessarily Bo Burnham, because like I do not want people to picture Moreland talking and Bo Burnham speaking voice, because that is fucking terrible.
Specifically the song Welcome to the Internet.
Because the idea of anybody
all of the time.
Yeah, because the idea of anybody in their head having to suffer through thinking about Moreland Valside going, you want a guy that's sweet, a guy that's stuffed, and then his that likes to pay for stuff.
Who do you like consider the mascot of the podcast, like the cool animal mascot? Dexter.
Or Phineas.
Yeah. Also, we've been basing the voices of Moreland's siblings on how we do the Moreland voice.
Yeah, so you have the very sonorous.
You have the Moreland voice, which sounds like this,
which is the resonance. Yeah, you have the sonorous resonance, which kind of goes in the back of the throat, and then a little up into the nasal cavities. But like for Nora, you just pitch it up and you make it a little more erudite and a little more stressed out.
Yeah.
And then for Boreas, you just sound like a chihuahua in a thunderstorm, but you have the same resonance as Moreland does.
For Boreas, you have the same resonance, but you push it way forward in your mouth and you talk very fast.
And you're so scared all the time.
You're so scared all the time. And then when you're doing the vowel voice, you just make it a little fruity. When you're doing the vowel voice, you have the same resonance, but you make it lilt a little bit. You wiggle around. You try to go for the Moreland voice and make it sound a little more like Leo.
Yeah. There's a show tune playing in the background when you do the vowel voice. You got to do the show. You got to do the "When You're Good to Mama" shoulder waggle when you do the vowel voice.
I do it every time. God, I try. But yeah, for the vowel voice, I when I did it in Omegroth, I pitch it down further than I do the Moreland voice, because the Moreland voice is about here and the vowel voice is down here, and it's a little looser. He just has to sound like a little shit.
Yeah. Although, I've actually been doing my Moreland voice as voice deepening exercises. Haha, trans things. Sometimes trans empowerment is taking the shittiest character and using it as vocal exercises to deepen your voice. Because I do picture Moreland as having like this very like sonorous bass voice, like very commanding. Like, yeah.
Someone in the chat said Boreas is so funky. Give us fun facts about him.
He lives in the worst house imaginable. Not like it's a very well appointed, very nice house, but it looks like those houses that people stage when you're trying to get people to buy a house. It doesn't look like a person lives there. Yeah. Actually, should we do the sibling? We've done a pitch meeting before.
We have the same concept for Boreas's house and a house for an NPC in campaign 2, so you will hear this again, but
we're talking about we have this line in Omegroth where Moreland is systematically roasting all of his siblings, and he says Boreas has such a bad complex that he doesn't even know it's a complex. He just thinks it's his personality,
and that is reflected in Boreas's house, which looks like a real estate agent has staged it, except for his library, because he meticulously collects and restores rare books.
So like that's the only thing that looks like a real person actually interacts with it, but the rest of it just looks like a Pier 1 imports threw up all over it. So we've had
the voice or the quote exchange of and what is that? A ceramic hedgehog.
Do you like hedgehogs?
Not particularly. Yeah, Boreas
he doesn't know it's a complex. Yeah.
Boreas standing in his big, empty, very stiff house, like, I'm normal. I like living this way. This is normal. That's it. That's the Boreas characterization. I like living this way. something autistic arrow ace people be like,
Yeah.
I'm normal.
Boreas lives at the walls like Bruno from Encanto. We don't talk about Boreas.
God. Oh. Oh my goodness. He's just a dude. He's just doing his best.
All right, like 1 minute call. Anything you got,
anything
get it in
else
there.
last minute,
Yeah.
go ahead. But I'm normal. I like living this way. This is how normal people live.
It's not.
This is what a normal house looks like. Boreas voice, I'm going to get a good grade in furnishing my house, something that is both possible to achieve and normal to want.
Boreas arrow ace, yes. Yeah.
We're gonna have a line. We're probably gonna have a line for him in the next couple episodes. We might not. We might have passed the point where we can do it. But we had conceptualized when we were doing his character concept, just a line of, well, you see. Well,
Children are messy and expensive.
Yeah, and since children are messy and expensive, and since I have no romantic or sexual attraction, I have no interest in having, or I have no drive to have them, and thus I can spend more money on my books, which are fulfilling. And then something. I tolerate Nora's children.
Boreas tolerates Adra.
Yeah.
No, Boreas likes Adra. Boreas tolerates Lark.
Yeah. Boreas doesn't dislike Lark.
No.
Like, they're just a lot. They're just a lot. And thus Boreas likes Adra better, which he's allowed to do as an uncle.
Info between Nora and Boreas as twins. I beg them, let them bully each other. Oh, you act like Nora doesn't bully her brother all the fucking time.
Yeah,
he's just a pathetic little man. Look at him.
Their dynamic is very much Boreas says something rude, and Nora gets him in a headlock. Like, that's it. Putting Boreas in a box and running away. So true. And we're gonna wrap it up there.
Okay.
So
you guys are gonna have fun here in a couple days.
It's a good episode.
It's a good episode. Some good things.
I
happen.
feel normal.
Some good things happen. Some good things happen, and then some not so good things happen.
I feel normal. God. Oh, anyway,
y'all heard about the Met
everybody.
Gala? Have fun in a couple days.
Have a good
Bye.
time, everybody. Bye. See you next week. God.